Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Das Kingdom. OpenAI just released GPT-4.1 today. So in this announcement, it states that the GPT-4 excels at the following industry standard measures. First is coding, and the second is instruction following, and the third is long context. They also has pretty good benchmarks on the vision and also the function calling. So I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. But so first, let's dive a little bit into the benchmarks of the coding, instruction following, and long context. So if you scroll down a little bit for the coding sections, you can see for the benchmarks of the SWE. So you can see the GPT-4.1 exceeds a lot of the other older OpenAI models. So you can see it's pretty good for the accuracy perspective. And for the ADER polyglot benchmark accuracy, you can see the GPT-4.1 also, it is demonstrated very good results. And the other example they gave is for a real world examples. For a flashcard, you can see from the coding perspective, the right side, which is GPT 4.1, demonstrated pretty good results. So the UI is nicer and the color is richer. So you can see the difference between the GPT 4.0 and the GPT 4.1. And for instruction following, so basically those are demonstrated pretty good results from the benchmarks in here. So you can see GPT 4.1 actually is pretty good. 4.1 mini, it is also very good. So the other thing they mentioned is the long context following. So long context, so you can see GPT 4.1 can process up to 1 million tokens of context. So previous GPT 4.0 models only is 128K. So it's a big bump, but seems to be very good. Also, I think for Corsa Alpha, it similarly is 1 million tokens. So, but GPT 4.1 supports 1 million token, which is great. You can see from the benchmarks here as well. So there's the real world examples and benchmarks for vision and benchmarks for the function calling. So if you scroll down a little bit, so you can see here the function calling also demonstrated pretty good results for GPT 4.1. And so you can see that they demonstrated all the benchmarks at the very bottom of the announcement. The first one is the academic knowledge, right? And then the second is coding, as we mentioned earlier. Then it's instruction following, and it's long context evals. So the long context benchmarks, it's also very good. So what's interesting about the OpenAI announcement is that so it only compares with the previous OpenAI models. So it does not compare the providers, different providers or other models from other companies. So which is cool actually. So it basically compares itself, see how it improves over time for OpenAI. So this is actually pretty good. And so if you want to try it out, they do have a few ways to do it. So first they show the pricing. So this is actually pretty expensive. You can see here the input is $2 per million tokens and the output is $8 per million tokens. So if you want to try this for free, you can actually go to GitHub, the auto Copilot. So you can see here the basically is available on GitHub. So it's pretty cool, and so you can actually try the latest GPT 4.1 for free. So that being said, let's continue with the testing. So if you actually try some of the samples here, so always use these prompts to try different models. So if you follow my previous tutorials, so let's try the first one, right? So what's the capital city of the country whose name ends with HOA? So let's try it out. So you can see is not correct. Ethiopia. So this is not correct. So it would be Czechia. So seems a little bit off. Interesting. So let's create a crypto trading company landing page. So which is the coding question? So as the announcement says, the coding is pretty good. So we're trying to test out the coding capabilities. So you can see it's done. Let's copy and paste. So interesting. So it's not doing it. Okay. Oh, probably it's because of the context. So it probably is because it's actually limited to the trial. So you can see actually it did not finish the coding, but let's try another one. So maybe you can try some very simple ones, but not the large context ones. So let's paste it again. So there's 3 letters A in the word Alibaba. So this is correct. Let's try another one. So generate a SVG code for a simple flower shape. So this is also another coding question. Okay. So interesting. So they have I think they actually limited to the size of it. So you can see the result is not finished for some reason. That so okay, interesting. So let's just try this to see what is the they have built. Okay, interesting. So actually they finished some of it. So it's actually pretty good. Even though they didn't finish the entire set. So, but anyway, I think this is a good way to test it, even though the context is limited. But if you're a GPT Plus user, you should feel free to try it out on OpenAI.com. And so maybe give it another try on some of the math questions. So let's try another one for the math questions. Interesting. So let's see the result. What is the result? Okay, interesting. Let's set x, y, and z. So it's not correct. So that's interesting. X plus y equals to z squared. X plus y z squared. No, that's not correct. So interesting. So basically, we test a few things, and so the result is kind of questionable. Interesting. So anyway, I think this is how we actually test out GPT-4.0 4.1 for free, and feel free to read more about the announcement. So hopefully this is helpful, and if you do like this video, please subscribe, like, or comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and see you in the next one.